Hello, today is the day that I answer the question, why no chickens in my chicken coop? Before we get into it, I just want to say chickens are great. You can get cheap eggs, they are so cute, they can be so sweet, they're great garden pest control, and in this case, I already have the facilities for them. I had toyed around with the idea of getting chickens for years, honestly. I almost kind of assumed that at some point I would just get them. But I've been doing a lot of research over the last few years. I've lurked in a lot of chicken Facebook groups, which is very helpful because it gives you a sense of what you're actually signing up for. And I've come to the conclusion that it is not the right move for me, and I want to explain why. Okay, reason number one, chickens are mean. They are very hierarchical. Pecking order literally means that they beat the crap out of each other to establish a hierarchy and an order. Sometimes they'll all turn on one and leave her out and bully her, and you have to save her. I don't know. I simply am not emotionally stable enough for this type of drama in my household, so that is the primary reason why there are no chickens here. The second reason is that it's very cold here, which does not mean that keeping chickens is impossible. For the record, there are plenty of chicken breeds that do well in the cold and plenty of very smart, very capable people who keep chickens in all kinds of weather. But it does mean that it's harder, and this is one of those situations in which I don't necessarily need to do something on hard mode. I just don't feel the need. The next reason is that there are predators aplenty here. I know for a fact that I have local raccoons, and raccoons are devious fuckers who will spend lots of time figuring out how to get into chicken coops. I already get mad and frustrated at the bunnies getting into my garden. I cannot handle raccoons getting into my chicken coop for murder. The last major reason is the disease element. Backyard poultry can be tied to a lot of disease, unfortunately, including obviously bird flu, but also E. coli, histoplasmosis, Campylobacter, which Dora somehow had when we got her, don't ask me, and salmonella, of course. I'm not immunocompromised, but I'm quite aware of which health risks I am or am not comfortable taking, and this is just not one of them at this point in my life. There are plenty of places to get safe, wonderful, free-range eggs around here. I'm very lucky in that regard, and I don't think they need to come from my backyard, especially if it involves taking on a risk that I am not willing to take to my health. Okay, bonus reason, if not chickens, why not ducks, is a real conversation I had with myself. Ducks are much nicer than chickens to each other. They are even cuter somehow. They, in some cases, can be even hardier than chickens in the cold. And in some cases, they can be even better for gardens and for pest control. But ducks are really, really messy, and they require water, obviously, to play in. And I told myself that installing a pond is likely too much for me to take on at this present time. And so it doesn't make sense for me to uproot, literally and figuratively, so much of the back half of the property for ducks. Ultimately, I do feel some feelings about moving something away from its original intended use. I feel pretty strongly that, especially when we are the stewards of old houses and old properties, we do owe something to the properties and structures themselves. But in this case, it seems like I will get much more use and enjoyment and appreciation out of this really cool piece of Madison history if I turn it into something that I want to spend time in, rather than another thing for me to worry about and a full-time raccoon defense project. And there you have it, folks. That is why I'm not putting chickens in the chicken coop and why the chicken coop is going to turn into a workshop. If you're a backyard chicken coop apologist and you would like to make your case to me, please do not hesitate to do so. I'm very willing to hear it, but I will likely not change my plans. Okay, see you next time.